Serena Williams has faced many challenges, but nothing prepared them for the moment that brought Alexis to tears. A shocking diagnosis turned their world upside down, leaving them to navigate something far more personal than anyone expected. Stay with us as we explore the story behind the diagnosis and what it means for their family. From Compton to world champion, Serena Williams' journey from the streets of Compton to becoming one of the greatest athletes in the world is nothing short of extraordinary. Her story is not only about tennis but also about hard work, family, and breaking through barriers. She didn't just become a champion on the court. She became a powerful figure who changed the face of sports and inspired people around the globe. Serena was born on September 26, 1981 in Saginaw, Michigan. But her family moved to Compton, California when she was still a baby. It was in Compton, a neighborhood known more for its challenges than its tennis courts, where Serena's journey really began. She and her older sister Venus trained on cracked public courts surrounded by a tough environment. But their parents saw something bigger for them. From a very young age, both girls were introduced to the game by their father, Richard Williams. He had a vision for his daughters and he believed they could be great. Even before they picked up a racket, Richard had written out a 78-page plan for their tennis careers. He studied the game by watching videos and reading books. He wasn't a tennis player himself, but he believed he could coach them to success. Their mother, Oraine Price, also played a key role. She helped with coaching and was a steady, supportive presence. Together, Richard and Orison focused on giving their daughters the tools they needed, not just to play tennis but to believe in themselves. The Williams sisters practiced for hours each day. Richard made sure they stayed focused and disciplined. They didn't play in junior tournaments as much as other kids because their father wanted to protect them from burnout and from the pressures of early fame. When Serena turned professional at just 14 years old, she was already turning heads. Even though Venus was the first to make waves on the tour, it wasn't long before Serena proved she was a force of her own. Her first major breakthrough came in 1999 when she won the US Open at just 17 years old. She defeated some of the best players in the world, including Martina Hingis, in the final. That win marked the beginning of what would become one of the most dominant careers in sports history. Serena's playing style was powerful, fast, and fearless. Her serve was one of the strongest ever seen in women's tennis. Her ability to control the pace of the game and her mental toughness made her stand out. Over the years, she faced and defeated every top player across multiple generations. Her rivalries, especially with her sister Venus, became some of the most watched matches in tennis. One of Serena's most impressive achievements is winning 23 Grand Slam singles titles. This is the most by any player in the Open era and just one short of the all-time record held by Margaret Court. Her Grand Slam wins came across all four major tournaments: the Australian Open, the French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open. She won each of these titles multiple times, showing that she could succeed on any surface, in any condition, and against any opponent. Serena also won 4 Olympic gold medals, 1 in singles and 3 in doubles alongside Venus. The sisters were a nearly unbeatable team and brought home golds in Sydney, Beijing, and London. These Olympic wins added to Serena's legacy and showed that she was not just dominant in regular tournaments but also on the biggest stage of international sport. What truly sets Serena apart is how long she stayed at the top of her game. Her career spanned over 2 decades and she consistently competed at the highest level. Even after injuries, breaks from the sport, and becoming a mother, Serena kept coming back stronger. She won Grand Slams in 3 different decades: the 1990s, 2000s, and 2010s, something few athletes in any sport can claim. Beyond the trophies and medals, Serena has had a major impact on tennis, sports, and pop culture. She broke barriers as a black woman in a sport that had long been dominated by white athletes. She brought power, flair, and confidence to the court. Her fashion choices, her hair, her attitude, they were all part of her presence. She showed young girls, especially girls of color, that they belonged in spaces they hadn't always seen themselves. She also spoke openly about issues like racism, body image, and gender inequality, using her voice far beyond the tennis court. As much as her tennis career is legendary, what happened behind the scenes, the long hours of practice in Compton, the fierce determination of a father who believed in his daughters, and the quiet support of a mother who stood by their side is just as important to understand. Serena's story is one of talent, yes, but it's also one of grit, patience, and a dream that started on a public court in a neighborhood not known for tennis stars. Serena and Alexis Ohanian. Serena Williams is known around the world for her power, passion, and perseverance on the tennis court. But away from the spotlight of sports, she's also built a strong and loving relationship with someone who has stood by her side through life's biggest moments. Her husband, Alexis Ohanian. Their love story is one of modern connection, mutual respect, and unwavering support. Serena and Alexis met in a way that many people wouldn't expect. It wasn't through mutual friends or a big celebrity event. In fact, it happened during a quiet moment at a hotel in Rome in 2015. Serena was there for a tournament and Alexis happened to be staying at the same hotel. They both ended up at the same outdoor table during breakfast one morning. At first they didn't talk, but eventually they struck up a conversation. From that simple meeting, a connection began to form. Even though they came from very different worlds, Serena from the world of sports and Alexis from tech, they quickly found things they enjoyed together. Alexis Ohanian is not a tennis player or athlete, but he is very well known in the tech world. He is the co-founder of Reddit, one of the biggest online communities in the world. He helped launch the platform in 2005 and played a big role in growing it into the global site it is today. After selling Reddit, he stayed involved in the tech and business world as an investor and entrepreneur. Alexis is also known for speaking up about important issues like online privacy, digital freedom, and equality, especially for women and people of color in tech. Despite his success, Alexis wasn't someone who followed tennis closely before meeting Serena. But after getting to know her, he not only learned more about the sport, he became one of her biggest fans. Their relationship grew quickly and Alexis proposed to Serena in December 2016 back in the same hotel in Rome where they first met. Not long after, in April 2017, Serena revealed that she was pregnant and the couple welcomed their daughter Olympia in September that year. In November 2017, Serena and Alexis tied the knot in a beautiful and emotional wedding in New Orleans. The wedding was like something out of a dream. It was filled with love, laughter, and a guest list full of celebrities and close friends including Beyoncé, Kim Kardashian, and Anna Wintour. The wedding had a Beauty and the Beast theme, complete with a castle-like setting, romantic lighting, and even a carousel. But more than the decorations or famous guests, what stood out was how deeply in love Serena and Alexis were. The way they looked at each other and the words they shared made it clear that this was a true partnership. Since then, their relationship has continued to grow and they've become a strong support system for each other. Alexis has always been open about how much he admires Serena, not just for her accomplishments but for her strength as a person, mother, and partner. He often speaks about how proud he is of her and how inspired he is by her hard work and determination. Whether it's attending her matches, cheering her on from the stands, or helping out at home with their daughter, Alexis is always present. Their relationship shows how love can thrive when both people support each other's goals and respect one another's journeys. Even with busy lives and high-profile careers, Serena and Alexis have found ways to stay grounded. They make time for each other, prioritize their family, and always speak with kindness about one another. Whether they're attending events together, playing with their daughter, or simply spending quiet time at home, they continue to show that their bond is built on trust, understanding, and genuine care. Their love story is not just about romance, it's about teamwork and mutual respect. In many ways, Serena and Alexis are a team, just like Serena and Venus. Once we're on the court, they help each other grow, face challenges together, and celebrate each other's wins, big or small. The underlying health struggles. Playing professional tennis at the highest level for over 2 decades is something very few people can fully understand. For Serena Williams, the journey was filled with glory, championships, and history-making moments. But it also came with years of physical pain and mental pressure. Behind her powerful serves and fierce comebacks were injuries, surgeries, and private struggles that she often kept hidden from the spotlight. The physical demands of tennis are intense. Players run, twist, stretch, and hit the ball with full force for hours during matches, sometimes for days in a row during tournaments. Serena started competing professionally as a teenager and continued playing well into her late 30s. Her playing style was aggressive and powerful, which made her successful but also placed a lot of stress on her body over time. The wear and tear eventually led to a number of serious injuries. Over the years, Serena dealt with many well-known injuries. Her knees have been a major concern throughout her career. She's had multiple knee problems including inflammation and tendinitis which caused her to miss tournaments and take time off to recover. Her back also gave her trouble especially later in her career. At times she had to withdraw from matches because of back spasms or stiffness. Her shoulder, another key part of her powerful game, suffered from strain as well. Each of these injuries affected not just her ability to play but also her ability to train consistently, which is crucial for someone competing at the highest level. Even when she wasn't sidelined by major injuries, Serena often played through pain. Chronic pain, the kind that doesn't go away even after rest or treatment, became something she had to manage every day. She had to find ways to deal with it, from physical therapy to rehab routines to working closely with medical staff. In many interviews, Serena has talked about how she sometimes woke up in pain but still pushed herself to show up on the court. That kind of dedication is part of what made her so respected. But it also came at a cost. Despite this pressure, Serena rarely showed signs of cracking. But over time she began to speak more openly about the emotional toll it all took. She talked about the stress, the expectations and the mental exhaustion that can come with being in the spotlight for so long. Her honesty helped start more conversations about mental health in sports, showing that even champions struggle with doubt, anxiety, and the need for balance. Serena's journey with pain, both physical and mental, is a reminder that strength doesn't mean never hurting. It means pushing forward, listening to your body, and finding the courage to say when something isn't right. Her battles were real, but so was her resilience. The traumatic birth experience. In 2017, Serena Williams faced one of the most terrifying and life-changing moments of her life. Not on a tennis court but in a hospital room. That year she gave birth to her first child, a baby girl named Alexis Olympia Ohanian Jr., whom she lovingly calls Olympia. While becoming a mother was a joyful milestone, the experience surrounding Olympia's birth was filled with complications, fear, and pain. It was a moment that tested Serena in ways she never expected. Olympia was born on September 1, 2017 in West Palm Beach, Florida. Serena had planned for a healthy, normal delivery, but things quickly took a turn. Doctors discovered that her baby's heart rate had dropped dangerously low during contractions. This sudden change led to an emergency C-section. Even though Olympia was born healthy and safe, Serena's own health began to decline almost immediately after the surgery. Just one day after giving birth, Serena experienced severe shortness of breath. Because she had a history of blood clots in her lungs known as pulmonary embolisms, she knew something was wrong. Serena was not a stranger to this condition. In 2011, she had been hospitalized for a pulmonary embolism and knew how serious it could be. This time, despite being in a hospital surrounded by medical professionals, she had to insist that something was wrong. She asked for a CT scan and a blood thinner. At first, the medical staff didn't take her seriously. They thought her pain might be related to the surgery or something less urgent, but Serena kept pushing. Eventually, doctors performed a scan and found multiple blood clots in her lungs. She was immediately treated, but that wasn't the end of it. After the diagnosis, Serena began coughing so hard that she tore open her C-section incision. She had to undergo more surgeries to deal with the complications, including another surgery to prevent more clots from reaching her lungs. In total, she went through several operations and spent 6 weeks bedridden after giving birth. It was an exhausting and painful recovery. What made this situation even more heartbreaking was that it happened during what was supposed to be one of the happiest times in her life. Instead of focusing on bonding with her newborn, Serena had to fight for her life. She later said that it was one of the scariest moments she had ever faced. She also said that even though she was grateful to be alive, it was difficult to feel joy when she was in so much pain, both physically and emotionally. This experience opened Serena's eyes to a much bigger issue: the risks and struggles many women, especially black women, face during childbirth. In the United States, black women are nearly 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women. Serena realized that even with her fame, money, and access to top medical care, she still had to fight to be heard. She knew that if it could happen to her, it could happen to anyone. After her recovery, Serena began speaking out about black maternal health.
She wrote a powerful essay in Elle and shared her story in interviews, hoping that her experience would raise awareness and help others. She talked about how important it is for women to speak up for themselves and to be taken seriously by doctors and nurses. She also encouraged the medical system to listen more closely to the concerns of women, especially those from marginalized communities. Physically, Serena's recovery took time. She had to rebuild her strength and heal from multiple surgeries. It wasn't just about healing her body. It was also about finding the emotional balance after such a traumatic event. She admitted that becoming a mom was beautiful, but it was also hard. Like many new mothers, she faced moments of self-doubt, frustration, and fatigue. But through it all, she leaned on her husband Alexis and found motivation in her love for her daughter. Serena's honesty about her birth experience helped shine a light on an issue that many people don't talk about enough. She used her platform not just to share her pain, but to start important conversations that could help save lives. Her bravery in telling the world what she went through reminded everyone that even the strongest people have vulnerable moments, and that asking for help, pushing for answers, and speaking up is sometimes the most powerful thing a person can do. The benign branchial cyst diagnosis. Serena Williams has always been known for her strength. The kind of strength that wins championships, comes back from injuries, and overcomes life-threatening health scares. But even with everything she has faced in her life and career, nothing fully prepares someone for the fear that comes when a new health concern suddenly appears. That's exactly what happened when Serena discovered she had a benign branchial cleft cyst. Though the diagnosis turned out to be non-cancerous, the experience was emotional, unsettling, and a reminder that health can be unpredictable even for someone as strong as Serena. A benign branchial cleft cyst is a type of growth that develops on the side of the neck. It comes from tissue that didn't develop properly during early stages of life in the womb. These cysts are not dangerous in most cases, but if the cyst gets larger, becomes infected, or causes discomfort, it needs to be examined and possibly removed. For Serena, the discovery of the cyst was sudden and unexpected. She had noticed a lump near her neck and decided to get it checked. For someone with a history of serious health issues like her past blood clots and the traumatic experience after giving birth, finding something new on her body understandably brought up a lot of fear. Even before receiving a full diagnosis, the natural questions rushed in. What is this? Is it serious? Could it be cancer? Will I be okay? The emotional impact was heavy. Serena later shared how anxious and uncertain she felt when she first learned something might be wrong. Despite her bravery in public and on the court, she admitted that her first thoughts were filled with fear. Like anyone in that situation, she wondered about her future, about her children, and about what she would face next. She also felt a sense of vulnerability, the kind that comes when you suddenly realize how fragile life and health can be. When the doctors confirmed that it was a benign branchial cleft cyst, there was relief, but that didn't erase the emotional weight of the experience. Serena chose to speak openly about it. She didn't have to share the news with the public, but she decided to be honest in hopes that her story might help others. She spoke about how important it is to listen to your body, to follow your instincts when something feels off, and to never delay getting medical help out of fear. Her openness made a big impact. Many people don't know what a branchial cleft cyst is until someone famous talks about it. Serena used her platform to raise awareness and to remind others about the importance of regular health checkups, paying attention to body changes, and seeking care when something feels wrong. She didn't try to downplay her emotions or hide her fear. Instead, she showed that being strong also means being honest about your struggles. Serena's journey with the cyst ended with good news, but it also served as another turning point in her life, one that brought more reflection and change, especially as she stood beside someone facing their own health struggle. Alexis Ohanian's battle with Lyme disease. When people think of Serena Williams and Alexis Ohanian, they often see strength, success, and a powerful partnership, but like any couple, they've also faced their own personal battles, ones that happen quietly behind the scenes. One of the most difficult health challenges they had to face together was Alexis Ohanian's struggle with Lyme disease. While Serena had her own health scares over the years, this time the focus shifted to Alexis, and their roles as caregiver and patient were reversed. Lyme disease is an illness caused by bacteria that is spread through the bite of an infected tick. It's most common in certain parts of the United States, especially in wooded or grassy areas. The early signs of Lyme disease often include fever, fatigue, joint pain, and a red skin rash that sometimes looks like a bullseye. Some people develop what's known as chronic Lyme disease or post-treatment Lyme disease syndrome, where they continue to feel sick long after the bacteria is gone.